Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to take a look at another of these Terra by Battat figures, and this one is actually one of my favorite from the entire line. This is their Dacentrurus, and it's a really cool looking figure. It's a species that we don't get very many figures of at all, so it's awesome to have one here sculpted by Dan LaRusso, and it really does have a beautiful appearance, some very nice greens used and everything throughout, and in general is a newer figure when it comes to the line, so is a little bit more updated than a lot of the older Terra by Battat sculpts, so that's really cool as well. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at it right now. So starting up at the head sculpt, you can see how incredibly nice the overall skin texture is, and in general the detailing of the face. Really nicely painted eyes there with a nice blackish coloration, and the detailing all around the eyes looks really good as well. You've got the ear sculpted out right there behind the head, and there's a nice brownish coloration with a beautiful gloss actually for the beak right there at the tip of the mouth. It doesn't for some reason go to the underside here, the lower jaw. I don't know why. I really feel like that would have made it look a little bit better, but it does still look good regardless. A very nice, very naturalistic looking coloration for that area. The eye is a little bit sloppy here on this side, but it's not terrible. It's nothing to really complain about. You've got some nice hanging skin here on the underside of the throat, and there's quite a few different variations of green throughout the head, as far as like a darker green up here, and then it transitions really naturally to a lighter green the lower you get. Same deal primarily with the rest of the body, but as you get back here into the body, you can see some nice skin wrinkling going on here in the neck, and again some really nice sculpt and detail as far as the skin texture down on the underside into the chest area of the dinosaur. Beautiful skin detailing the further back into the body we get. I really love that detailing there when it comes to the shoulder spike, kind of all the skin wrinkling and everything coming off of that. That looks super cool. As we move down here into the legs, you can see some really nice musculature. Down here, some nice creases in the joint of the front leg there. Beautiful elbow right there, really nicely portrayed in the sculpt. You've got a nice foot sculpt here, some really nicely painted nails with a brown coloration similar to the brown that is on the beak up there. The shoulder spike itself is fairly smooth, but you can make out some cracks and crevices throughout that. Make it look a little bit more realistic, but it's not that great, but still not bad at all. Really nice detailing throughout the plates that run along the back of the dinosaur. And you can also see that they are painted with a nice greenish coloration that's similar to what you see in the shoulder spike. It's a lighter green, but it's rimmed, kind of outlined with a nice black to give it a very striking appearance. You can see some very nice skin texture here in the stomach region. Has kind of a big animal feel when it comes to the overall appearance to the skin texture. There's the hip bone right there. Nice musculature in the thigh and then down into the calf. You've got a very nice kneecap there in the front of the leg. Beautifully painted nails on this nice foot sculpt here on the rear leg. And then as we get out here into the tail, you can again see the really nice skin texture run out the length of the tail, along with the very cool spikes that start to appear here the further back in the tail you get. And they kind of have like a tip of black, which looks cool. I'm not super sold on that, but I think it does still give it a pretty striking appearance. I just don't know how much I like that kind of very solid line that cuts off the black. I feel like a more gradual transition would have looked a little better, but it's still pretty darn nice. And the overall color choices that they've gone with here are very natural in my opinion. I think that it looks really good, especially the dark green in comparison to that lighter green on the underbelly. Really nice detailing over here on this side. Again, that similar style of sculpt around the shoulder spike there looks really good. Beautiful detailing here of this front leg. Nice creases in the elbow area. You've got some really nice skin texture there in the chest region. There's the elbow once again. You can also see the wrist area right there, the joint of the wrist. Beautiful skin texture here in the stomach region as we come up into the upper part of the animal. Very nice hip bone there. Kind of some skin stretching off of the hip right there. You've got a very nicely sculpted knee there. As we move down into the foot, you've got that rear foot there. Looks really good. Nicely painted nails again. Nice detailing amongst the plates up here on the back. You can really see that nice outline of the black over on this side. Looks super cool as far as outlining that and making the plates jump out at you. It looks really cool. Even the detailing here on the spinal column looks really good. Nice skin texture up there as well. And then you run out the length of the tail, which does have a nice curve. Really beautiful natural looking curve. Some of my spikes have kind of warped a little bit They don't always look like this, and you could probably give them the hot water, cold water trick to put them back into position. But again, I think that the sculpt on this is really, really well done, and a beautiful version of this dinosaur, something you just don't get too many figures of. So as far as the size goes on our Dacentrurus, from the tail to the head, you're looking at about just barely under 6 inches, or about 15 centimeters in length, and for a height about 2.5 inches, or around 6.5 centimeters, somewhere in that range, definitely in that size vicinity. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Golovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, and you can see next to those figures that the Dacentrurus is a really small figure, definitely one of the smaller Battat figures, but again, it's not a bad sized figure, and it's really quite nicely crammed with details. So if you're looking for a very cool Dacentrurus figure for your collection, but you just don't have too much room left, then this is definitely your guy. It's a really nice looking figure, and as you can see, it's a much smaller size, so it's much more convenient when it comes to fitting into any collection. So this Terra by Battat Dacentrurus is a really cool figure. As I said, one of my favorites for sure from the entire line. I think they did a fantastic job on the sculpt. Overall, it is a really beautifully, very highly detailed sculpt. Really nice, minute sculpt work all throughout, like the very nice skin texture and everything in the stomach region. The head sculpt is beautiful, and I love the fact that they've kind of outlined the plates on the back with that nice blackish coloration. It gives it such a striking look, but with such realistic tones of color. All the greens and everything used all over the body, they're all really natural looking tones. Very nice dark coloration for the upper side, and a nice lighter green for the underbelly, and I think it all looks great as far as looking like something I could actually see a Dacentrurus looking. When it comes to the coloration, I don't think it's overly flashy. I don't think anything on this looks poorly painted. The only slight complaint that I would even have would be the fact that they've kind of added that black tip as the spikes run up into the plates there, up into the hip area. You can see that they kind of have that black tip, and the transition between the green to the black tip I just feel like isn't the best. It's very sudden, very abrupt, but other than that, I really feel like this is a great figure as far as sculpt and paint. So if you want to buy this, I will include a link in the description to Amazon.com where you can pick one up for yourself in a very cool set of figures that they are currently selling on there. An incredible deal for all of the different Terra by Battat figures, including numerous in one box. So again, check the description, head on over to the Amazon Terra by Battat store and pick up this very cool Dacentrurus for yourself. But before you do that, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.